What is up, everybody? Another day, another podcast. Welcome to episode 9. 9 is the magic number of the League Community Podcast. My name is Andy Belford, aka Zwill. I am part of the player relations team here at Riot Games. Joining me today is a new co-host who we affectionately call Sven Beider, but his name is actually Ben Snyder. Hello, Ben. How are you?
So far, so good. Starting off with that Earth triumphant music. Oh, so good.
It is. Returning with us today is a familiar voice for those of you who listened to, I believe it was episode 3, our recording about Champ Select, the new Champ Select process. We have Eric Socrates Kenna joining us again today. Say hello, Eric.
Hey, guys. What's up?
And another new voice joining us today, the dulcet tones of Alan Moore, a.k.a. Miros.
How's it going?
How are you doing today, Alan?
Pretty good.
So just to refresh everybody's memory, Mr. Kenna, could you please remind folks at home what it is you do here at Riot?
Yeah, so I'm a designer. I work on competitive systems and player behavior features. So stuff like League system, Champion Mastery, Loot system, new Champ Select, all that good stuff.
Cool. And including what we're going to be talking about today, the Hextech Crafting system. I'm super excited. Are you guys excited?
Pretty excited.
We're super excited.
You may not see this at home, but they are literally on the edge of their chairs. No, they're not. They're not actually. You are all just immensely calm right now. It's almost eerie.
It's Alan's calming presence. It's the British voice. We're all just like, just need a pipe and some tea, and we're good to go.
All right. Speaking of Alan, Alan, what do you do here at Riot Games?
So I'm a product manager, and I work on all the same good stuff that Eric just mentioned.
Okay. What does a product manager do?
So lots of game companies, it would be a producer. A product manager works with a team, and we help the team to define what we're building and why we're building, and then everything else through to supporting the team to get out the door.
Okay, so you're responsible for making sure that all these developers and artists and all those folks stay on track, right? Stay lined up to the vision.
Exactly. It's a little bit more of, hey, what are we building? We're building a crafting system so that we can, hence the rest of this podcast.
Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, we do like to do a little bit of get to know you. So I would ask, are you a lifelong gamer?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Do you want a little bit of background?
For sure, please.
So my gaming started mid-80s, which dates me, obviously. BBC microcomputer, which was pretty big in England back in those days. After that, Amiga was... Amiga was huge for me. Bit of a lull through the late 90s when I was at college. And then I love the consoles... PS1, Xbox 360, and now pretty much just PC right now.
What would you? So it's funny you talk about the Micros. Actually, a former coworker of mine, Eugene Evans, actually programmed some of the most popular games for that system way back in the day. So
so back in the day, games like Elite and Exile, they're like classics. They're like 1-2-person games that just stand the test of time. They're amazing.
And if you're listening at home and you understand what we're talking about, congratulations.
There's one old guy. Hey, I remember that game.
If not, you should probably go hit the Wikipedia page for the Micros. So what kind of games would you say were seminal to you, that were just the kind of ones that really cemented your love of video games?
I think really early on, games like Elite, where you have a really open-ended experience that you can call your own, through to I think online gaming would be Quake, where when I was in college, we had a LAN set up in the house we had, and we'd play the Quake into the night. And then really seminal experience would be through the OOs of EverQuest and World of Warcraft. Got my MMO legs under me, which are behind me now, and Dota into League of Legends.
That's awesome. That's great. So we are here today to talk about Hextech Crafting. But before we get into that, I kind of want to dive into actually the background of why we decided that this was something we wanted to make, right? Kenna, talk to us a little bit about the league experience as it as it is currently, because I think when this releases, Hextech will be on PBE still, right? And why we feel like this is something that we need to add to it.
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, like, when we sat down to build Champion Mastery, the thing we had identified at that point was we had really great gameplay, but we didn't have great, like, metagame systems. So think about, like, World of Warcraft, right? There's, like, the moment-to-moment, you know, I'm hitting stuff with my sword. That feels really satisfying. I'm, like, dodging and doing whatever. And then they have this awesome layer of, like, I'm leveling up, I'm getting more strong, I'm like, I have this achievement system, all this other stuff, right? So the piece we identified was, you know, great in-game stuff. Out of game, there's a league system, and that's about it. And we have like the progression system, but it's not super great. So Champion Mastery was the first step towards that, but it was pretty small, and we knew we wanted to build on top of it. And loot is it's kind of, so for one thing, it's a reward system, but it's also an infrastructure on which we can build future sort of progression systems as well.
Okay, so League has a really good kind of game by game experience, right? People get really attached to it. They get really engaged and involved in it. Why is it so important to have an out of game experience with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you think about your first game on like a champion, and this is just kind of the basis for Champion Master, right? And you're like, oh, hey, like I made a lot of mistakes, I wasn't that good, right? And in game 2, you're like, oh, I was better that time. And game 100, you're like, I am amazing at Vi. Like all I play is Vi. So capturing that beyond just the sort of intrinsic feeling you get and like quantifying it and allowing you to represent it is super important, right? It makes for a really satisfying experience. And so that's what we were trying to tap into, and Loot integrates with that.
Oh, I do want to ask, though, you've mentioned Loot and we've talked about Hextech Crafting. Are these distinct systems?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think this is one of those things that like the community is probably just always going to call it loot. So the crafting system, it goes beyond just the like rewards that you get. So the rewards that you get with the Champion Master integration, we're calling loot. The Hextech crafting system is actually like, you know, it's your inventory and it's the ability to like take stuff in your inventory and mutate it and all those things. So from a player point of view, you could probably just call the whole thing loot and be clearly like, you know, like people know what you're talking about, but like internally we have a distinction between the two because we want to use Hextech crafting for all sorts of future features as well.
And that's the scalable other products that you referenced.
Yeah, exactly. Which we can't talk about yet.
Not quite yet. That's okay. Teaser, terrible. We're terrible about the teasers. That's horrible. So let's step back a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about our current progression systems we have in game, right? We have Champ Mastery right now. Oh, I'm getting pointed at Alan over here.
I don't know.
Okay. So let's actually talk about the progression system. And I want to ask a little bit more about, you mentioned the 1 to 30 experience previously. Mm-hmm. Are we happy with the way that Champ Mastery currently works in the 1 to 30 in-game experiences currently?
I think we're pretty happy with Champion Mastery. It does something really different to say ranked. So ranked, say, pretty hardcore evaluation of how good you are. And like Champion Mastery it's a layer that sits above each game in terms of, hey, I really enjoy playing Vi, well, especially if you're Eric, and it really lets me show my affinity, and I'm better, so I progress faster through that. And when we were working on Champion Mastery, we really wanted to avoid something that is just for a small set of players or is just really hardcore on skill, because ranked hits a lot of that. And this lets all of our players really show their affinity for the champions that they like playing.
I can see the Reddit post now, though. It's like, oh, I'm not happy with Champion Mastery. So I think we acknowledge that like Champion Mastery is not a zero-sum system, and it's not as meaningful as, say, like being Diamond or something in rank to get to level 5 on a champion. And that's like, it's a trade we made for accessibility, and the grade system was supposed to carry the weight of the like, I'm a badass, therefore I can get S grades, which is actually like pretty difficult. Like S+ grades are like 2% of players, and we see that like Bjergsen consistently, or like high level players consistently get S's, and much lower skill players like almost never get S's. I think to your question about like how happy are we with it, I think we could have done a better job of like leveraging some of the stuff like grades to really make the system feel like it had meat and meaning, and that's one of the things we want to try to accomplish with loot actually.
Yeah, we feel like it's a pretty solid foundation, and I think the grades are one of the really interesting pieces because they do give that feedback without being sort of overshadowing of the system as a whole. And one of the things we really avoid doing when we're making a system was to be like, hey, do better by doing these specific objectives, kill dragon within 8 minutes, or things that would just make the experience really bad for everybody because you do dumb things in game.
Yeah. That's what makes building progression systems really challenging in League is you can't just like stick achievement system like Xbox, like, oh, collect 500 coins in the game, because it's like, what? Like suddenly people do all this unintuitive, crazy shit, right? So you have to be really careful how you craft them.
You don't want to add in, like you said, something that is just like actually would possibly introduce additional toxicity, like if people are trying to achievement hunt, quote.
Yeah, or it would just feel really arbitrary, right? Like each game of League, it's like an intense experience. You're in there for 40 minutes or so, well, short of this season, and you're working really hard. And if you realize halfway through that someone's off trying to do something dumb to get an achievement, you'd be super mad.
I think that if like my Tom Kench was like out in the river just constantly ward hunting because he had to get the kill 10 wards achievement, that would probably be pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Although one could argue that bards are just constantly achievement hunting because I've never seen one stay in lane.
Yeah, they kind of play a different game. Actually, I think that's the place where it works, though, to have like a different mini game, because like the win conditions still tie back to I ran around and did crazy shit and you didn't understand what I was doing.
Yeah.
It kind of fits the fantasy too of like I'm from a different universe, you don't understand me.
Yeah, but within the rules of each game.
Right.
Plus ominous trumpet noises.
Yeah, what are those? I love that champion. He's so mysterious.
He is definitely something different, that's for sure. Going back a little bit to the previous question, we talked a little bit about champ mastery. The 1 through 30 experience, that's something that I think's been with League for pretty much the entirety of the game, the lifespan of the game. Do we think that does it still work?
Oh man, where's Ghostcrawler?
I think we nailed it.
Oh yeah, it's best AAA experience. I mean, I think it's kind of there as just sort of like a vestigial organ.
So it's like the appendix of League of Legends.
Well, like the thing that it does really well is it gets everybody ready to play ranked, to play seriously. I mean, it's got a pretty long curve because it's like League's a game where there's so much to learn and it has really deep mastery curves. And so the way it does right now is it rolls out concepts slowly and it does a reasonable job of that. It
also separates the so like Counter-Strike, they say like as soon as they do a sale on the game, they see cheating just spikes because it's like, well, the cost of losing an account is really low, right? So having some barriers to getting to ranked and that kind of stuff does shield us from some of the like sort of crappy implications of that. So it does a few things. It just doesn't do them that well or as well as we think we could do them.
Yeah, there's definitely room for improvement in the future. We think that integrating loot should bring it to being the more interesting experience where you're getting loot on a more frequent cadence.
I did want to talk about something you mentioned, Alan, which is the integration of loot into that progression from 1 to 30.
Yeah.
How exactly do you see loot fitting in with that?
Well, so loot's pretty tightly coupled to champion mastery. So players can earn up to, one chest per week, effectively, by hitting an S grade by them or somebody else in their pre-made. So as players level, and they'll start getting grades when they hit level 5, which is where champ mastery turned on. And so then they start having this goal that within each week they need to try and get an S grade for them or someone they're pre-made. They're also playing different queues to get keys. And when both those out, they'll be able to open the chest that they get. So I think the obvious question that comes from that is, can I get an S grade if I'm still climbing up? And the answer is actually yes. It's more difficult. But the grades are interesting. They scale fairly well. It's definitely easier to get one if you're pro level or diamond plus, but you can get them across all different levels of the game.
You mentioned, Kenna mentioned earlier actually that S grades are actually very, very rare. They're like 2% of the people who play the game. That
That's
sounds
S+.
actually
That's S+.
it's an S plus.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get like an S plus. It can be an S minus through S plus, and that will actually get you the chest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's. Whew. I was like,
You don't have to get that 4.0. You can get the like 3.6 and still.
I mean, I'm still at the point where I'm stoked if I get an A minus. I don't know about you guys, but
That's really cool to hear because like every time I'm looking at game ends when I'm walking through the office, I'm always like, oh, what they get? Oh yeah, they got the B minus. It's like you see the good grades come from. We got some like master tier dudes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that feedback loop feeling meaningful is super important.
Yeah, and just to call out the other pieces of the system that are important there for players as they level up is so you can get your S grade on a champion, and then you've unlocked a chest for that champion, and then you can unlock one chest per champion per season. So you're going to want to rotate through different champions, and we think that's a really good thing to do as you level up. A lot of players really focus on one champion, and that's really healthy to get to understand the game. But like so much depth in the game of playing through different champions.
But Alan, all I play is Vi. Why are you making me play other champions, bro?
that's actually a good question because I'd say that there are a lot of players, I mean, including some high-profile players who have kind of made a career, quote, in League out of playing one champ almost to exclusivity. Like, are we by making this change, are we saying that we value that type of gameplay differently? Like, I mean, let's be honest, like, you got guys like Trick2G out there and he just spams the hell out of Udyr, right? But he's really good to watch and he's very good and he obviously has fun at that champ.
And that's fine. We're not going to penalize those players. I mean, look at the rank system. The rank system really heavily incentivizes that kind of play, right? Hey, getting really good at one champion in one or two positions means that you climb really high, and players are sort of reaping the rewards from being able to do that. So I think this really is about incentivizing something else, right? Which is playing through a diverse set of champions, and League is about testing yourself and trying different things and mastering lots of different things, and one of those is champions, and we think that's a super satisfying experience and worth rewarding.
Okay, all right, so let's step back real quick. Let's go to what actually is Hextech Crafting. You mentioned a scalable reward system earlier. What the hell is a scalable? What does that mean in like non-dev speak?
The Essex article said it was incomprehensible, so we're still in that. No, it's so it's basically an inventory and crafting system where you collect pieces of content and then you build them. So pieces of skins, pieces of champions, pieces of ward skins, basically every piece of content that exists in the game. And then with those, you can like work towards the permanent version, or you can just cash them in immediately for the rental version.
So
is that broad enough? I don't know how.
That's pretty broad. Yeah. So basically, what's the player experience like? You get a chest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you log in, we're gonna have you just get some chests to start with, and you'll have some keys. You're gonna open those chests, and you're gonna get some goodies. And so basically you get like, let's just say you got a skin, right? We give you the skin, we'll give you some of the stuff called like essence, and you can build that skin with the essence, right? So like the shard is like, let's say it's Annie. What's an Annie skin?
Frank and Tibbers.
Reverse Annie. Okay, Frank and Annie. There we go.
Frank and Annie.
Frank and Tibbers.
Reverse, whatever. Yeah.
So let's say I got Frank and Tibbers, and it's like, I don't know, 1,000 essence to craft. And then we give you, 1,000 essence or whatever. So you click on it, you click upgrade, got the skin, you're good. And then from there, we'll give you kind of pieces of each of them, and you'll be working towards sort of your set of objectives. So if, let's say I have like 10 skins, right? I can disenchant some of those skins to get other skins based on what my choices are. So for me, I love Vi, right? So I'll just like disenchant all the other skins and just make all the Vi skins, right? And champions and all that stuff.
And to clarify, what's in the chests are normally going to be skin shards, correct?
What's in the box?
I
had to do it. I had to do it.
Yeah, so we have the concepts of shards and permanents for each content type. So for skins, champions, ward skins, summoner icons, which don't have shards, just the permanents. And as Eric was talking to, when you have a shard, you can choose to upgrade it with essence, and you get essence and disenchanting other shards, or you can choose to take 3 things of the same type and re-roll them for something completely different, but a permanent version. So take any 3 skins or 3 skin shards, re-roll them, and get a different skin permanent.
Also, that you don't already own.
Yeah,
for that
sure.
reroll.
Yep.
Okay, so
So
it
let's
does
just
check to
say-
make sure that you don't own it already?
Yeah, like
Okay.
let's just say you got like total like really bad luck. There's like a floor basically for how much
Yeah.
that you can sort of like not have bad luck, right?
Okay, interesting. I want to go back to something you said. You said you log in and everybody will get a chest.
Yeah.
Is that something we're doing for the launch of the system?
Yeah, just the promotion. So like the first
promotion,
month when
okay.
you log in, I think we're giving the plan right now is like 2 chests. Might change.
Right.
I think
know.
it's all in one chest.
So it's all in one
sorry.
chest. Okay,
One
so
chest, but 2 chests worth of content.
yeah,
So
it's a special chest.
first hit is free, basically. I'm
Yes.
smacking my arm right now. Okay,
Exactly,
just making
yeah.
sure.
You'll get something that is going to be pretty meaningful and awesome for you on the
Okay.
first day. So
Yeah.
Can we dive into the notion of like limited time use content? You said the word rental. That's not
Yeah.
something League has done before.
That is new, yeah.
It has been done in other regions before.
Yeah.
But not in NA. So basically you get a skin or a champion for 7 days, and then that's a rental.
so really, any piece of content that you get out of a chest, you can use and has value for you. So
Yeah,
if
that
it's
was the reason why.
if it's a skin shard, then you can either, if you have 3 of them, you could re-roll them. If there's one you really want, you can start saving the essence to turn it into a permanent. Or if you're just super curious immediately, you could use that as a 7-day trial period on that skin or champion.
Okay, so the way that I'm interpreting this, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that the skin shards, or the shards basically, are kind of like the building blocks, right? And the essence is the glue that holds them all together.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
like a recipe,
Okay.
basically.
And you can, and you take 3 similar types and re-roll them. I think the way we've built the system is it's actually really flexible. So we've implemented a bunch of use cases right now, and we've got lots of ideas of how we can extend it down the road.
What do you think is going to be the most popular? Like, do you think people are going to just like go gaga over the rental idea, or do you think people are going to really kind of go deep and want to get the permanence?
People are totally going to go for the permanence.
Yeah,
I mean, people
yeah.
are smart about like value, and so they're like, oh, well, this one's more
Yeah,
valuable.
I think the interesting different personality types will be around, hey, do I want to min-max the amount of content I can get, or do I want to really focus on things for champions that I really care about?
That's really cool. And the fact that you said that you can actually get either a champ or a skin or ward skin, or pretty much, I'm guessing it's like anything that's purchasable with IP, with the exception of runes.
It's anything purchasable with IP or IP.
Or RP.
Oh, actually, no, there are exceptions. You can't buy rune pages, for example. But
Oh,
so
okay.
the content types at launch: skins, champions, ward skins, and summoner icons.
I mean, if you guys really want rune pages, just let us know. We're all over it.
You heard it first. Tweet at Riot Socrates. Is that right? Or
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
to your point, this is the first time that you'll be able to get skins without spending RP. So it's a pretty
this
big
is-
change.
This is a really interesting set of conversations internally around like, how we like structure the value of those things. And
Yeah.
I think we ended up in a really good place where we're, to launch, we're giving out a lot of stuff, and we'll evaluate how it kind of plays out.
But let's be clear, from your guys' perspective as designers and the product manager, this is not a system through which I can get everything in League for free.
No,
well,
I mean, so we just walked through the numbers you can get. You effectively get 4 slots for your chests. You get a chest on a champion. It locks. It takes a week to unlock. You can do the math on the amount of content you're going to get from that. You're not going to get everything there is to get in the game, but you're going to get a lot more skins and champions you do right now.
Yeah, it's significantly more. I think right now we give out like 2 a season or something.
yeah.
Yeah, and you'll also get interesting choices to make about exactly what content you get. Because the system actually solves one of the problems that we've had for a while, which is, hey, how do we give people like something smaller for an event, right? Because I think if you characterize the cool stuff that you get for free in League of Legends, it's like, hey, once or twice a year you get a skin which may or may not be for a champion you care about, right? Like our team, the competitive team, we do ranked, and there's a Victoria skin, and that's super meaningful, but there's a really good chance that it's for a champion you don't care about. Here we get a way going forward that, hey, here's like fractions of skins, but you can get them way more frequently.
And you
Yeah.
can customize it for
Yeah, that
what
choice
you
piece.
want. Yeah, and that's I've worked on other games where the loot systems are like random, but you don't get to actually like convert it into content you want. And that's really frustrating. Like I understand that, players get attached to characters. I think everybody understands that. I think it's awesome that I'm sure there's going to be a conversion rate, right? Like there usually is with this kind of system. But the fact that you can take that time that you're investing into the system and put it towards things that you actually want is pretty cool. Another quick question. You did mention, this is not a way to get all the content in League of Legends free. But actually, I want to ask about the quality level of the content, meaning, i.e., is it possible for legendary skins to drop in the mastery chest?
Yeah,
Totally.
we have everything except legacy, right? Oh no, sorry, I misspoke. We have everything except limited skin, so like PAX TF, etc.
So like no Black Alistair then.
No Black Alistair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that small set of champions that were tied to specific events.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, there's some great posts on Reddit where like people went through and like, I'd opened 1,000 chests, and the drop rates are actually pretty accurate. So you can see like they got like an arcade Sona and some other stuff. So it's totally possible to get really valuable stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was one of our goals of the system, right? We're like, if we give out a bunch of like the cheapest stuff, it's not exciting. Like when I open a chest, I'm not like, what am I gonna get?
Yep.
And I think one of the things that we were talking about before with that 1 to 30 experience that's really exciting here is now I can save my IP for rune pages and runes and the things that I really, really want. And
That does sound exciting.
Well, I mean, you can get your champions through crafting now.
Yeah, I think it'll be a mix for most players. I think you'll go up against Poppy one time and Poppy will destroy you and you'll be like, I'm gonna get Poppy and get so good at Poppy.
Yeah, we talked about the champion mastery unlock stuff on the forums and stuff too. And I think that's going to be an exciting component of it, like how we use this to like integrate into other systems to unlock other pieces of content that people.
Tell me
care
more,
about.
Eric.
Oh, I will. I don't want to dig into that design too much right now because it's still. I mean, we're like 80-90% locked in.
Yeah, the problem we're trying to solve is what happens when I own all the champions and I'm getting champion shards. And we're like, yeah, that would suck. We don't want to do that. So we're kicking around a bunch of designs. Eric put one of the ideas we're thinking about out on the PBE forums, got some really good feedback from people. And we're kind of iterating on that design right now.
Well, that's good that we're thinking in those terms because I would say there's a significant portion of players who've been playing this game for a very long time, like 2-3+ years, right? And they're playing, many games a night, and they have literally earned enough IP to unlock probably not all, but like most of the content that is available to them, right?
Yep.
So,
those players. They played a ton of League of Legends. They deserve us think about their problems, and that's one of the things we're trying to solve.
Okay, so we mentioned earlier that the shards and essence both are going to be coming from mastery chests, right? That's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's not to say in the future we won't give them for other stuff like ranked accomplishments and stuff like that.
So players are going to be earning mastery chests based on skill. Based on like their rating or their teammates' rating in a match.
Pre-made.
So an S minus and above, right? If you're in a pre-made group, and it has to be a pre-made group, not a random person if you like a solo queue into dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we draw the line between being rewarded based on skill versus just being rewarded based on participation? Because it sounds like this system is supposed to appeal to both like the hardcore, super highly competitive folks and the people who maybe aren't like the ranked people, but like really like playing like the normal dynamic queue system.
Yeah, I think the thing about League of Legends players is that they are all competitive players. Like it is a PvP game, and I think
I disagree with that. I disagree with that because we have players who play bots, right?
All 5 of those players are still trying to beat the bots, right?
But
So,
still,
they're-
I wouldn't say that that's necessarily the most high priority thing to them. I don't think that like competition is the most important thing to every player.
I mean, I don't want to like spill data on this podcast, but I think I don't know. It's even in the bot experience, those players are still
They're still trying.
They're still competitive, right? Like no one goes into a game and like Okay, so think about World of Warcraft. Like you log in, like I'm gonna go like farm some herbs. You know, like I'm gonna crush this lane. And even in the bot game, you're like, this bot is mine, right? So yeah, I do. There's a competitive intent, and we want to make sure that like the guy who's playing in a lesser sort of competitive category is still satisfied, and it still has goals that are achievable. And I think this. By attaching this to the grading system rather than the ranked system, we open this up to be more accessible, but we still make it meaningful because everyone will have those games where they just like crush it, and we want those games to feel fucking amazing.
And then I think that's a really nice thing that we get from tying it to the grade system, right? You get a good grade in a game, and that's a meaningful game for you, or you helped your friend to carry on whoever, Corky right now probably, carry on Corky and get that S grade, then that's meaningful, and that scales across the whole game.
Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Thank you.
You can't earn chess.
Sorry if I got a little, passionate there.
Please do.
So it's a reward system. We have established in the past that we don't shy away from tying reward system into our player behavior systems.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say I've had my account actioned on in the past season, am I going to get a mastery crit chest? Can I participate in this system?
Yeah. So the way it's structured right now is if you have player behavior like penalty levied against you, so like you're ranked restricted, you're chat restricted. I think those are the restrictions. The only restrictions. You can't earn loot through the Champion Mastery reward system, and probably not through any other means either. But you can still, like, let's say you bought a bunch of chests and then you get chat restricted or whatever. You can still interact with the loot inventory. You can still make your stuff, right? You just can't earn more for free. So that's how the player behavior system integration is going to work.
Okay. So wait, you just said bought chests. You're going to be able to buy chests?
Yeah, you're gonna be able to buy chests.
Okay, that's interesting. We hadn't brought that up before, so let's dig into that a little bit. You can buy chests, I'm guessing, in the store then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you buy them for both IP and RP?
No, just RP to start.
Okay, just RP to start. Are we sharing yet how much those are going to go for?
We haven't finalized it, but it's on PBE at, I think,
it's 190 on PBE.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the current target.
190 for a chest and key.
It's a great deal, man.
That's actually no. I mean, like 190. Seriously?
Yeah, 190 RP is a chest and a key. Yeah.
Okay, that actually does seem very reasonable. And I'm not like, this isn't me going, well, wow, what a great bargain. I'd buy that for $1.
Do you work for Riot?
Do you? That seems like a wonderful bargain. This is honestly like me as a player, like thinking back to before I started at Riot and the hundreds of dollars that I spent on this game.
One of the reasons to have the chest and keys purchasable is that you're going to be on a sort of weakish cadence for getting chests, and keys are a little more random. But this is also, hey, I got some stuff, I nearly got what I want, then you'll be able to go and sort of satisfy that itch to complete the champion or the skin that you're working to.
Is there any difference in what you can unlock in a chest versus that you earn versus what you purchase in the store?
They're the
They're
same.
the same.
Yeah, the same chest.
So it is
we might do
exactly
like
the
a
same.
promotional chest that's like,
Yeah.
discount or like, has a different drop rate or something. But the like default chest that's just going to be there for normal purchase is the same you earn through for free.
Okay.
And you can actually buy chests and keys individually as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're missing one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you were so excited about this, because internally, like, this was one of the things that I got really, really hyped up about. It's such a low, like, price point. Like, my goodness.
Oh man, you guys are just like, we're gonna do this podcast.
I know,
they're
people
be
are gonna be like,
freaking Riot, man.
Well,
They're
no,
like,
but like,
but really, like, when we think about the free-to-play games that we play, and like there's always that moment where you're like, well, do I want to spend like $8 or $10? But when you think about it, when you're looking at aggressively low price points like this one, like, that's accessible for anyone who chooses to participate in it. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I've been playing League of Legends for over 5 years, and I've been here for a long while as well, and this is just like, it's a really neat value to be able to bring, like, and it's
really
Remember
great value.
We started on the system. I remember, I think it was Mark or someone was like, hey, like we had like a similar system that was on a China or something. He's like, take this and like Riotize it. And so we had to like really think about what that meant, right? And like part of that was like, well, like give people a ton of value. And so I don't know if we achieved that or not. We pushed really hard to try to achieve that, but you guys are ultimately going to be the judge of that as
Absolutely,
players.
yeah. Players
yeah,
will
and
let us know.
we're on PBE now, and as we roll out and we get towards live, we'll be changing things because we're going to see how things, shake out.
Okay. So, by the way, your experience in opening chests was my experience in opening magic packs this weekend. I was just like, gotta get that expedition land. No, I am like over like I don't know how many boxes at this point.
Yeah,
Opening stuff is fun.
I saw
It is.
Stavros.
And that's the thing is like I still had fun opening those packs, and that's I think what it gets down to is like we all like a little bit of like chance in our life, right? And I still had fun no matter what opening those packs, especially considering like I got to draft and play sealed and stuff like that. So I got my values worth.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're really like, hey, I'm gonna get what might not be exactly what I want, but it might be awesome, and you're spinning the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. So this new system, Hextech Crafting Mastery Chess, is this actually a replacement for mystery gifting, or is that's still staying?
We're going to keep mystery gifting. They do slightly different things. Mystery gifting's at a higher price point, and it really focuses on skins for you as opposed to the deeper loot tables that we have in Hextech Crafting.
Okay, I like that because personally I like mystery gifting my friends with skins. It's probably the sole reason that I riotized my account was so that I could mystery gift my friends. So.
Maybe someday there'll be mystery loot though. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Are we getting spoilers here? Is that happening?
Calling e-commerce right now.
Come on, write it down.
All right. So the system is on PBE right now. When are we anticipating rolling this out to live servers, and how are we planning on doing that?
Yeah, so we're working hard right now to get it ready for live servers. The main thing to do right now is the day one experience that we talked about, so sort of special chests and explaining to players how that works. That's the big thing we're doing. We're planning to roll out to one region first in a beta format. It's probably going to be Turkey.
All the players were just like gripping their seats.
Is it me?
So it's pretty likely we'll be going to Turkey in the. Do I give a timeline? Hostage to fortune. In the near future, we want to get to Turkey.
Soon TM is okay. Soon TM is okay.
I think to set expectations, we'd definitely be sitting there for 2 patches while we look and we get data. Something like this where we're giving skins away, and that raises eyebrows everywhere, right? Because skins are, they're really important to us. So we're going to be there for 2 patches. We're going to look at a ton of data. We're going to be talking to players about what they think about the system. We reserve the right to make changes, and when we feel really good, we'll be rolling it out to all other regions.
Okay. Well, I think that, that makes sense, kind of load testing it in a, I don't want to say smaller environment, but in I'd say a more easily controllable situation makes sense.
And you use the word load test there. So we will be testing the system. I think we'll be doing lots of load tests before we get to Turkey.
Yeah.
One would say we might have learned a lesson recently about load testing things.
We did to give context, because I work on that feature too. Like we did so much load testing, but live is just a really different environment.
Yeah. So actually, I want to dig into that a little bit, right? I think this is a good opportunity to do so. And I know that, Alan, I know you don't necessarily work on the...
He does.
Oh, you did work on chips.
He's the initiative owner, right?
Yeah.
So, we did do a lot of load testing, to be very clear. And right now, folks, by the way, I'm talking about the new Champ Selects experience, which ideally by the time this podcast comes out will have been up and running successfully, as it is in NA right now for a couple of weeks. Right, we're all crossing our fingers at the moment. We do load test these new features. Like we put them through fairly rigorous testing. What can we talk at all about what that testing process is like, kind of behind the scenes before it even hits like PBE?
It's basically like simulating like 5x the expected traffic, but the problem is the traffic doesn't always manifest in exactly the same way. So it's like, I don't know, it's like you build a tunnel expecting like to be able to serve like 5 lanes of cars, but then like it's like in your simulation the cars are running straight or something, and then in reality like all the drivers are actually crazy and they're like crashing into each other and stuff like that. So it's like it's not the greatest analogy, but I'm trying to think of the best way to like present it to people that rings true. And it's like you can't prepare for all those sort of like network traffic issues and like hardware failures and all that stuff. In every case, all you can do is like be as rigorous as you can around testing. And I think in that particular case, we were trying to do it all on the same day at the start of the season, and that introduced a lot of risk. And so like with this feature, where we go to Turkey, we're going to be super confident that our live environments are going to be reflected when we go to other regions. So we're confident we're not going to have the same kind of load issues. But it's a unique set of challenges, and the tech team, I know those guys get a lot of flack, but at this point, Riot's tech team is like senior Amazon dudes, like people from Google, people from like these massive like companies that built like brilliant, crazy stuff to scale. So it's not like it's some guy in his garage. Like they're a highly specialized and competent set of dudes. Okay.
Right on. All right. Well, we're getting close to wrapping up here. I think we've talked about Hextech Crafting exhaustively. As one of the designers behind it, is there anything that you are particularly looking forward to when players get this in their hands, kind of like far and wide?
Free stuff. I just want the free stuff. I want the buy skins. I love seeing the reactions. So let us know what you think. It's trying to do rewards well has been a challenge that we've been working on for like 2 years, maybe even longer than that. Like I've been here for 3, and so it's like, if this looks good, we're going to continue to build other stuff on top of it. So if you guys are excited about this and have a good experience, let us know.
Okay. And as the producer of the project, Alan, anything you're looking forward to?
I think just in terms of experiences I'm looking forward to will be around that end of game now, because I think S's was super cool before, and now they're even more meaningful. And you're gonna the converse, you're gonna get some A pluses. You're like, I totally deserved an S there. And I think that's the sort of short-term experiential thing. And then I think the longer term is, hey, this gives us so many options for us and for other teams across Riot to build on.
Okay.
I actually just wanted to touch on what you just said. The transparency around champ mastery ratings.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
I know we're wrapping this up, but I actually wanted to bring this up earlier and missed my chance. Like, with this new system and the importance that it places on your grade, are we going to make it a little bit more obvious what you need to do?
So it's a double-edged sword. So we don't want to be really specific about how you optimize that, because we don't want people to try and optimize those behaviors and make other people's games miserable. That said, like, we feel really good that if everybody saw the metrics, they'd be like, well, yeah, of course, that's important. That's what you need to do in a game of League of Legends. And just to maybe just recap on how the grades work, right, for people. So first of all, we're looking at the champion that you play, and then we're looking at the position that you play in that game, top, mid, jungle, bot, and then we are and we actually have some clever tech to look at exactly which position you're playing in. We're not just pulling it from the declared position, and then so we know your champion, your position. We're comparing you to everybody else on the server in that champion and position combo across these specific metrics. So it's pretty meaningful. It varies from patch to patch. It automatically updates depending on which champions are doing well and when we update the jungle. So we feel pretty good about it as a really robust measure of performance.
And to be clear, like if you lane swap, like if you go top, we still got you covered.
Yeah, exactly.
It works pretty well.
Yeah, it's a little 1984-ish there.
Yeah.
and for those of you who don't know, 1984 was a novel written by George Orwell talking about a dystopian future in which Big Brother, the government, knows all. So, anyways, now that I have explained away what classic.
People still read that, right, in school?
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so.
Great book, man.
It is a great book, but it's funny. Like you said, like we don't want people gaming the system, so we can't be too specific. Like I worked on Warhammer Online, and like there was a system called Renown in the game where you would get basically rewarded points, and there was also like a kind of a loot system where like if you took a keep, it would roll and you would like the top 10 people would get like a chest in it, right? And I remember like players spent so much of their time trying to figure out how exactly you earn it. And they're just like, oh, is it done by damage? Is it done by kills? Is it done by, damage done to siege things and stuff like that? It became less about playing the game and more about gaming the game.
Yeah,
So
I've seen a few posts of people trying to pick apart the algorithm, and like it's I don't think anyone's ever going to crack it. It's pretty it would be pretty difficult to separate all the factors accurately.
Don't say things like that. Don't say,
Well,
because as soon as you say that, they're gonna do it.
I would love to see someone crack it.
It would be very
it changes the next day, right? So
there is somewhere out there some league player with a spreadsheet open in front of him going, challenge accepted.
I feel confident even if someone cracks it, people are gonna be like, well, okay. I mean, that's playing League of Legends well.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough.
Like be Bjergsen and get chests.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
Bjergsen and get chests.
I thought it was gonna make it easier.
Well, thank you to Alan and to Kenna and to Ben for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun. I'm even more excited now for Hextech Crafting. I hope everybody listening at home is as well. If you are listening at home on iTunes, please be sure to rate and review us. That helps us out. It definitely floats us to the top with those gaming podcasts out there. If you are on SoundCloud, leave your comments. We love to hear your feedback. And also, don't forget, we're on Stitcher now as well. So all of you Android users, be sure to listen and rate and review. I don't know what you do on Stitcher, actually. Okay.
What is? I felt so old just now.
Stitcher is like a very big Android distribution for podcasting. So anyways, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the League Community Podcast. Bye-bye.